Good afternoon, Rob Brough. Tonight, flights have been cancelled and the Bruce Highway cut off as heavy rain continues to fall. Unions slam the state government as it pushes ahead with the sale of QR's rail and freight arms. A man injured in a highway rollover south of Mackay and a new era for a landmark local park.
Serving Mackay and the Whitsundays, this is 7 Local News.
Tonight, roads cut, flights cancelled and businesses flooded after heavy rain. Unions furious over the sale of QR arms. A motorist airlifted after a highway rollover. And what's stopping more GPs from moving to Mackay? Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. The heaviest September rainfall on record has fallen in Mackay in the past 24 hours. Flights have been cancelled, businesses swamped, and the Bruce Highway north of Proserpine remains cut off. Flood warnings have also been issued for coastal rivers from Mackay to Bundaberg. Nicola Stroll has been looking at how locals and emergency service personnel are coping with the downpour.
Rob, this morning's deluge sparked panic for many local residents. They haven't seen this kind of rain since the February floods in 2008. And as the water rose, so too did concerns of another flood disaster. Residents woke to chaos on local roads. By 8 a.m, streets were already closed as flooding from overnight falls continued to rise. The highway came to a standstill north of Proserpine. Tonight it remains cut off by floodwaters.
People are driving onto flooded roads or water over the road and having vehicles being caught in the floods and vehicles stopping and having to be rescued from that.
Residents have recorded falls of more than 200 millimetres, some unofficial readings as high as 300 mils. Shops along Nebo Road copped the brunt of localised flooding. The floor at the Bank of Queensland was saturated. It was too late for the SES to help.
How'd you go? It's wet, isn't it?
Emergency services were inundated with panicked calls from residents hit hard by flooding 2 years ago.
It's a continuation of the concern that we have in this region as a result of the flood disaster in 2008.
Shana Davis was one of them. Her home was swamped in the February floods.
Pretty much deja vu. Been watching it carefully and picking up stuff from the laundry because that's where it was most affected. Businesses
also spent the day preparing for the worst.
Because of Nebo Road, floodwater situation, we've put sandbags around the doorways.
Flights in and out of the Whitsunday Coast Airport have been cancelled. The Mackay Airport was also struck by lightning. The Weather Bureau blames a series of storm cells that merged into one early this morning.
We've had a series of upper-level troughs coming through that have been producing lots of cloud and very humid conditions and also some pretty decent rainfall.
This is what we're going to expect for the rest of the year, and it's time to start thinking about how we can better prepare ourselves.
Rob, more rain and thunderstorms are forecast for the region over the next 24 hours, and the State Emergency Service is warning residents to be prepared for more localised flooding.
Nicola, thanks very much. You've done well to stay dry. And Nicola Stroll reporting there. Livia, of course, will have the latest weather details a little later in the bulletin tonight.